Good morning and welcome to our specially International Workers' Day broadcasts, coming to you from Radio Nigeria, Coast City 929 FM. It is the breakfast show, and my name is Ekene Odigwe. Today we celebrate the resilience, dedication, and contributions of workers across Nigeria and the world. Workers remain the backbone of economic growth, and their welfare is critical to national development. Join us to discuss government policies that can improve workers' welfare is Comrade Fabian Nwigbo. He's the chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress, Enugu State. Comrade, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And happy Workers' Day to Nigerian workers.
Let us begin by setting the tone for today's discussion. Many workers feel that despite their contributions, their welfare still needs more attention. From your perspective, how would you assess the current state of workers' welfare in Nigeria?
With regards to the current state of workers' welfare in Nigeria, I would say that it's in a very terrible shape. It's a very pitiable situation. For instance, what welfare? Is it the minimum wage of 70,000 naira that is expected to serve a family for 1 month, 70,000, in a country where a liter of PMS is sold for 1,350 naira, 1,400, depending on where you're buying from? A country where cooking gas, the cost of cooking gas is almost 2,000 naira per liter. In a country where transportation is not within the reach of an average person. So it's so terrible. I have to assure you, it's a terrible situation. I don't even know what can one call welfare to workers under this present national government. Is it the minimum wage? Is it transportation? Is this housing? Name it. So, when one says the current state of workers' welfare in Nigeria, for me, it's in a very bad shape. There's nothing to hold on to as a welfare package. As far as the country and the situation of the economy is concerned, the workers are on their own, virtually on their own. Because like I said, if you start to talk about welfare, let us even look at the salary issue. You earn 70,000 naira. Would that be enough to transport you to your office? Would that be enough to pay your house rent? Today it's difficult to get a 2-bedroom apartment less than 1.5 million, unless if you have gone back to the most remote or the remotest area. And also note that if you are coming from a very far place to the town, you have to transport yourself. If you aggregate the cost of transportation, add it to whatever you may be paying there, which you think it's less, you find out that you have paid times 2 of what you would have paid when you're in the town or inside the town. So the current state of workers' welfare in Nigeria is nothing to write home about.
Now, government policies play a significant role in shaping the quality of life for workers. In your opinion, what are the most important government policies that can directly improve workers' welfare?
Yes, I agree with you that government policies play a significant role in shaping the quality of life for workers and Nigerian citizens generally. But unfortunately, most of the expected or the desired policies are not in place. And when they are in place, they are not implemented. For instance, one of the policies is a situation where government pays a living wage, not a minimum wage. Of course, when you talk about minimum wage, you're talking of that amount which the government and the labor have agreed or come in terms with as a minimum amount to be paid to the least person in the cadre. But if you talk about living wage, you are looking at a number, an amount that's payable to a worker that is a reflection of the true situation of the economy. Of course, you can say that 70,000 naira is a true reflection of the situation of the economy when you talk about living wage. So what we have is minimum wage, not a living wage. So one of the policies that government need to put in place, or that is desirous, the government should put in is to ensure that subsequently what is paid to workers is not minimum wage per fixing an amount, not considering the economic situation, whether that amount is capable of doing anything for the worker or not, but just fix an amount. It's going to be a situation where they will look at the economic variables, the present economic situation, and use it as a benchmark to determine how much a worker earns at the end of the month. Secondly, issue of housing. For instance, presently, fuel price is 1,300, 350, 400, and so on. The cost of housing have also skyrocketed. Why can't government build quarters as they used to do? Estate for workers. Build and give out. Deduct from the worker's salary. At least that will reduce the pressure on the issue of housing. And a whole lot of things in that order. Have government vehicles, buses, that can convey workers to office and back at a subsidized rate. Because it seems the workers are on their own. Whatever you see, you take. Once the social called 70,000 naira is paid to you, whatever you get, it's your choice. Things are not done like that in some of that jurisdictions. You could have as well provided for buses, provided housing estates, housing for the workers at a subsidized rate, at owner-occupied basis, and many other policies in that direction. Thank you.
And minimum wage has always been a major concern for workers. Some argue that periodic reviews are necessary to match the rising cost of living. What policy approach should government adopt to ensure fair and sustainable wages?
Yes, minimum wage has always been a major concern for workers. However, if government decides to adopt the policy of paying living wage rather than minimum wage, it is going to be better for the workers. And when the workers are at peace with regards to their earnings, it spurs them to perform more, to do more. Service delivery rises, So, one of the policies I think, an approach government will adopt that will help to ensure fair and sustainable wage is to pay workers living wage and not minimum wage. Also, instead of paying once in 5 years or 3 years, as the case is now, government may decide to do it as situation of the economy changes. Like you can imagine, it's one of the states in Nigeria today decided to give 10,000 naira to workers to help to cushion the effect of the rise in fuel prices, and also ask them to come to work 4 times a week instead of 5 times. These are some useful, cushioning that can help the worker to survive, to succeed, knowing fully well that what they earn is nothing to write home about. They say, before now, you're earning, you take home. What we earn today don't even take you to a bus stop, not to talk of taking you home. Take you which home? So I suggest that government should go by way of increasing the paid salaries as the economic situation changes. Even if you don't increase, let it come by way of wage award. Like what we have been suffering for months now because of what's happening in the Middle East. Government can say, okay, everybody have 20% of his salary added, 30% of the salary added, pending when situation of things returns to normality. So as long as people take minimum wage once in 3 years and nothing happens again until another 3 or 5 years, what we are seeing or experiencing today will continue to repeat itself. So I suggest that government should have a procedure of increasing wage that will reflect at all times the present condition of the economy.
Now, beyond wages, working conditions also matter. Things like safety, job security, and access to healthcare. What policies should the government prioritize to improve these aspects?
Yes, beyond wages, working conditions also matter. Things like safety, job security, and access to healthcare. All this can be achieved if government, for instance, on the issue of healthcare, ensure all workers in the country, assuming the insurance provisions cost is 20,000 a month, that's 240,000 a year. The government might come in and say, we'll pay 50% of the cost of your hospital bill through insurance. Why 50% is deducted from your salary at source? If that is done, insurance is a fundamental one. If that is done, you find out that a lot of workers, that will also reflect on the wage or the wages of workers. Because if you find out that you have been spending 200,000 or 240,000 naira every year on your on hospital or hospital bills, and government started to come in and pay 120,000 for you, why you pay 120? The balance you ought to have paid will reflect on what you have as balance from your wage. So, on that ground, government should ensure that we have effective insurance, health insurance, that government will subsidize for the workers. Also, security. Of course, if a man is not sure of his life when he goes out and come back, the tendency that the person's the productivity will be very, very poor will be there. So we pray government to step up action, put the persons who matter, who have the skills in necessary places to ensure that Nigerian citizens are secured. To ensure that Nigerian citizens are secured. Food security also. Let me also tell you, if the farmers are not sure of going to the farm and coming back safe, tendency that they will go to farm is not there. Of course, you can notice that within and around the northern states, and that is affecting food security in this country heavily. Government is not even doing what they are supposed to do, knowing fully well what is happening, and since they have stopped importation, you should have as well created avenues to boost agriculture. And not only that, mop up produce from the farmers and use it to subsidize the cost of food items in the open market. So all these things are not done. So we are suggesting that fundamentally, government should look at insurance, health insurance for the workers to see how far they can help to subsidize that. You talk about a healthy nation where the members, the citizens of the nation are healthy. And when the citizens are healthy, the economy also becomes healthy because output will increase. So it is our opinion that on the issue of health, government should pay a serious attention with regards to what health insurance for the workers.
Another issue often raised by labor unions is the timely payment of salaries and pensions. What policy measures can help address delays in salary payments and pension administration?
Yes, on the issue of payment of salaries and pensions, that of pensions have become the biggest challenge, and government is beginning to look at this EPS, that's contributory pension system. What we're saying is that if the system, because the challenge we have in the country is the systems not functioning, not working. If the system begin to work and work effectively, contributory pension scheme will be fine. So that when you retire, you don't go cap in hands to beg for your entitlement, your pension. Most of the workers at the point of retirement, they are old, they are sick, they have underage children which they need to take care of. And unfortunately, when you leave, nobody cares about your welfare anymore. The pension will not come, the gratuity will not come. You can imagine a situation where someone will retire for the past 15, 20 years, the gratuity has not been paid. When the person retired, a bag of cement was 700 naira a bag. The gratuity is still waiting to be paid. A bag of cement is 12,500. You can see that inflation have eroded. Inflation have eroded the value of the whatever the person may be. Even if you are paid 20 million, what 20 million could have done for you 15, 20 years ago is not the same thing as what it could do for you today. So, and we're saying that government should ensure and be honest when it comes to public affairs, the workers' welfare, their salaries, the pension. When a government pays salaries regularly, they want us to clap for them. This is a contractual arrangement. I hire you, you work for me, I pay you at the end of the month. And your worker will be coming, work from 1st to 31st, by 5th or 6th or whatever you pay. And you want him to come and clap for you that you have paid. It's unfortunate. So government should take the issue of payment of salaries very serious because it also serves as inducement on the part of the worker. And then that of pension, very, very serious. Because for someone to have spent 35 years, serious 35 years, his lifetime, to ensure that government activities and business goes on well. And at the end of the day, the person will spend the rest of his life without earning anything, suffering, begging. If you are not fortunate to have children who are up and doing, you are finished. And like I said, at that age, most of them are sick. They need drugs to maintain their health. So we are pleading with government to please take the issue of payment of salaries and pensions with gratuity very serious.
If you're just joining us, this is Breakfast Show on Coal City 929 FM, Radio Nigeria, Enugu. And today we are talking about International Workers' Day 2026. Our topic is government policies that can improve workers' welfare. And the guest is Comrade Fabian Nwigbo, Chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Enugu State. Remember, you can join the conversation at coalcityfm929.net.ng. Now, back to you, Comrade Nwigbo. Let's talk about training and capacity development. Many workers want opportunities to improve their skills. How can government policies support continuous learning and professional growth for workers?
Yes, training and capacity development or capacity building is very key when you talk about the development of the worker and improvement in the system. When we started work about 30 years ago, as soon as you are recruited in the state audit, you are trained for like 3 months. Within that period, you were exposed to a whole lot of things. Thereafter, you're onboarded. And as you continue in the system from time to time, you attend trainings. Today, such things hardly exist. The government have failed to realize that when you train the workers, when you keep them abreast with the current trends in the system, you are helping to improve on the outputs. No worker will go for any training and come back and tie the training and throw it inside well or gutters. By implication, whether you consciously or unconsciously, the person will begin to put in practice what he or she had learned. So I advise and I wish that government will go back to the good old days when workers from time to time, at least 3 times in a year, you must attend trainings, capacity building trainings that will help you to develop your skills, to expand on your skills, to leverage on the current trends in the system. Because it's going to help to ensure that the output, the services rendered by the individual is in line with the current trend in the site.
The informal sector makes up a large portion of country's workforce. What policies can government implement to ensure that workers in the informal sector also benefit from welfare programs?
Yes, I agree with you that the informal sector makes up a large portion of the country's workforce. And it is expected that government, through its policies, will make the environment conducive for such persons in the informal sector to exist. Look at what is happening with the oil sector in Nigeria. Most of the people, the entrepreneurs, carry out their services using fuel, gas, and different oil. But unfortunately, the prices of these very essential commodities have continued to skyrocket, to soar up. Then how do you expect the entrepreneurs to grow? How do you expect the private sectors to grow? How do you expect those who are in the informal sectors to make it? So, fundamentally, government should create an enabling environment to allow those who are not in regular salary payment to exist. Bring down the prices of these raw materials that people use to produce. Make the environment conducive, which entails a whole lot of things. Both the price of the raw materials, availability of electricity, availability of water, pump-borne water. If the pipe-borne water is there, there's electricity there, there are good roads, of course, those in the informal sector will soar. They will do well. So we're appealing to government to increase the infrastructure, to step up action on the area of infrastructure, to ensure that those of them who are in the informal sector, who needs this infrastructure majorly to subsist, will have peace and all it takes to exist.
As we celebrate Workers' Day, collaboration between government, employers, and labor unions becomes even more important. What role should each stakeholder play in improving workers' welfare?
Yeah, we will be celebrating Workers' Day on the 1st May, which is the case every year. It's like a ritual. Every 1st of May of each year, workers come out en masse It's like a stock-taking period for the workers. They look at what they have achieved. They look at how good they have fared with the government, the welfare packages. They review it, appreciate government on what they have done, and then make further requests on what should be done. I want to appeal to governments to also use that period to come and be with workers, attend Workers' Day, so that they will have the opportunity to hear from the workers first-handly. The workers will appreciate the government. The workers will also pay out what they think that the government needs to do for them, what they think that the government needs to do to enhance welfare of the workers, ranging from the salaries, regular and improved salaries, gratuities and pension to the retirees, promotions, improvement on the infrastructure. Of course, if the work environment is not conducive for one to operate, it affects productivity. And these are areas you need to mention before the government where we have such deficiencies. You make it clear to government. And we've noticed that in some cases, government take it upon themselves to improve in some of them. So we encourage government to always try to be part of this program, be at the venue for the program, listen to the workers, take home the appraisers, and work on it. So I continue to congratulate workers, the May Day, and I pray God to keep our workers healthy and alive, notwithstanding the harshness of the economy, to give us the enablement to continue to work hard, for we know that Nigeria will be good someday.
Before we wrap up, what message do you have for government authorities regarding policies that can strengthen workers' welfare?
I also like to state that government should consider the basic necessities of life for workers: food, shelter, and housing. If workers are well paid, they will be able to pay for a better and a good apartment. If workers are well paid, they'll be able to feed well and look healthy. If workers are well paid, they will also be able to procure quality materials they wear that will make them look like workers. I know in the olden days, when you see teachers, everybody want to look like a teacher, a civil servant. Hey, that's the way they look like. But these have become history. You can't even see a civil servant today and spot him as a civil servant. Most of them are like artisans because of the way and condition they found themselves. So I like to use this opportunity to appeal to governments to step up actions with regards to the welfare of workers. The basic needs of life, food, shelter, and clothing. Provide for the workers that they will be able to achieve this. And go back to the good old days when you see a civil servant, you say, look at the way he or she dresses. Look at this, look at that. That reflects that this person is a government worker. I want to make this appeal passionately that government will reconsider their position and look at the condition of a worker. An average Nigerian worker is a suffering person. An average Nigerian worker today is a suffering person. 70,000 naira, a family of husband, wife, and a child. Take, for instance, that they are feeding a day is 1,000 naira, morning, afternoon, night. That's 3,000 by 3 is 9,000. Multiply 9,000 by 31 days, you find out that it's far above the 70,000 naira minimum wage. And that goes to tell you that workers are suffering. We're only talking about food. We're not talking about health. We're not talking about oldness. We're not talking about outfits. We're not talking about transportation to office and back. We're not talking about school fees. We're only talking about feeding alone. That no worker's salary can take care of the feeding of the family. And it's difficult to have a family with just mother, father, and a child. It's always a mother, father, and 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 children. So that will tell you that what workers earn today is grossly inadequate to take care of their bills. We're appealing to government to look inwards and see how to make a reasonable change that will improve on the condition of a Nigerian worker.
And your message to Nigerian workers as they commemorate International Workers' Day today?
Finally, my message to the Nigerian workers as they commemorate International Workers' Day 2026 is to remain resilient. They should continue to work hard, notwithstanding the condition we found ourselves. No one should derail. I also wish to appeal to workers to find alternative means of survival. Second, third, fourth income. Public holidays, weekends, have a piece of land around you where you can practice agriculture. If it is only grain and pepper you produce, you'll be making some little money that will help you to subsist. For the women, you can make some cardigans. You can make some other things. Use your hands, to produce. We are not saying we should use government time to work for extra pay. What we are saying is that we have time out. Once it's 4 o'clock, people dismiss from work. From 5, 6, you can take 1 or 2 hours and do one domestic artwork, one activity that from time to time you sell and make money from it. My opinion and suggestion for workers, my advice rather, is that our workers should sit up. They should sit up. The time of relying on salary payment alone has come and gone. People should sit up, think of how best to use their fingers to achieve their daily living. Lease up a land around you. Start something. Today, agricultural produce, the costs are high. If it's only pepper you're planting, you're going to be making money. If you're planting pepper and maize, you'll also be making money. Use every weekend to visit your farm. Use evenings when you're back from work. Put in 1 hour, one useful hour outside the government period, and you find out that you're going to be good. Your situation of things and condition is going to be better than it is today. Thank you so much, and happy Workers' Day celebration.
Thank you very much, Comrade Fabian Nwigbo, Chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Enugu State, for sharing your insights on government policies that can improve workers' welfare. To you, our listener, we celebrate your hard work, resilience, and dedication. Happy International Workers' Day 2026. Keep striving, keep contributing, and together we can build a better future for all. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of the celebration. This has been the Breakfast Show, reaching your heart and soul from Enugu, Coal City, 99 FM, Radio Nigeria. Producer has been Jude Obu. Supervisor is General Manager, Coal City, 99 FM, Kate Nebo. The Zonal Supervisor is the Deputy Director Programs, Joy Obitilata. And the Executive Producer is Zonal Director, FRCN, Enugu, Ikechukwu Eze. My name is Ekene Odigwe. Thanking you for joining us. Happy Workers' Day.